Imagine you walk down the street and you are busy thinking about your problems. Maybe you had some problem in your workplace, or you wonder if you will be able to pass an exam, or how people think about your hairstyle, or the shape of your nose. Let's dive into this situation and analyze it. The not so surprising news is that all people think like you and are busy thinking about their own issues. They just see you as someone moving in front of their sight, and disappearing like all other people on the planet Earth. They are not aware of your issues and what you care about, in exactly the same way you are not aware of the content of their mind. You think other people don't have as many problems as you have in your mind, and in fact you don't care about their problems the same way as yours. Other people think the same. They think you don't have any problems in your head, and they are the only ones who are the victims of their life. Here, if we see deeply, it's not important for anyone what you have in your mind, and if you don't think about these problems, nothing really happens. From this simple experience we can conclude that the sense of separate selves and the suffering are just an illusion. There is only the world that just happens, and there is just consciousness that is aware of what's happening. All the negative thoughts are merely the product of the monkey mind of every separate individual, which doesn't have any choice aside from trying to feed you some thoughts to catch your attention. If you don't pay attention to them, no one cares about them. So the next time when you have a lot in your head, just remind yourself you don't need to worry about anything. Just observe the thoughts arising on their own in your mind and simply let them vanish. Believe me, nothing bad happens and no one in the world will notice. Maybe you say, if I don't think about my problems, how can I manage my life affairs? The common answer to this question is that you just need to have some planning about the future and try to navigate toward that. Here you don't need to overthink the situation or be worried about what happens, as no amount of stress and worrying can have any effect on the outcome. But I want to go a step deeper. Here I want to point to the illusion of free will. Our sense of control over our actions and decisions is misleading. Our choices and actions are actually determined by a combination of internal and external factors, such as genetics, environment, past experiences, and unconscious biases, which are beyond our control. Free will is considered by many an illusion because we do not have the ability to freely choose our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Rather, our choices and actions are the result of complex causal chains that are influenced by factors beyond our control. There is lots of research in fields such as psychology and neuroscience, which suggests that our thoughts and actions are shaped by unconscious processes, and that our decisions are often made before we are consciously aware of them. The idea that environment affects our choices is supported by many scientific studies in fields such as psychology, sociology, and neuroscience. Research has shown that our experiences, upbringing, and surrounding circumstances can shape our beliefs, values, and behavior, influencing the choices we make. A significant portion of individual differences in personality, behavior, and cognition can be explained by genetic differences. Studies of identical twins, for example, have shown that many traits and behaviors are highly heritable, and that identical twins are often more similar to each other than non-identical twins, even when they are raised in different environments. This suggests that genetics plays a significant role in shaping our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Additionally, research in neuroscience has shown that much of our behavior is influenced by unconscious processes in the brain, and that our decisions are often made before we are consciously aware of them. Examples of unconscious processes in the brain include perceptions and memories that are formed unconsciously and outside of our awareness, unconscious biases and prejudices, which can affect our decision-making and behavior even when we are not aware of them. For example, a person may unconsciously hold a bias against people of a certain race or gender, and this bias can impact their behavior and decision-making in a negative way, even if they are not consciously aware of it. These unconscious biases and prejudices can be formed through past experiences or cultural conditioning, and can be difficult to recognize and change. Research has shown that unconscious biases can have a significant impact on our interactions and decision-making, and can lead to discriminatory behavior and outcomes. The other example is unconscious emotions and motivation, such as unconscious fears and desires. For example, a person may have an unconscious fear of failure that influences their behavior and motivation, even if they are not consciously aware of it. These unconscious fears and desires can be rooted in past experiences, and can have a significant impact on our behavior and decision-making, even when we are not consciously aware of them. Understanding and addressing these unconscious fears and desires can be an important part of personal growth and development. Now I want to share a thought exercise if the previous notions weren't enough. For choosing an option that serves us the best, we need to know every aspect of the issue, from the reaction of others, to the physical circumstances of the world at that time, or even our level of energy, motivation, and health. For example, in some studies it's been shown that one of the most important variables that affects the verdict of a judge on the scale of severity of punishment in a court is whether the judge has had a meal before the verdict or not. Because of that and the lack of the ability of our brain to calculate many variables at the same time, many of our decisions just happen at the last moment with the gut feeling, and many times we will be surprised later about our decisions. In addition to that, as discussed before, we are unaware about many aspects of the activity of our brain. These hidden parts of our brains are so-called subconscious parts which we don't have any access or effect on, and yet they are the responsible part of many of our arising thoughts at the moment of decision. Looking at this picture makes us surprised to understand that nearly all aspects of brain activity are automatic. It's not possible to predict the exact circumstances and reactions of others, or even our own thoughts and emotions in a given situation. Despite this, we often spend days or even years imagining how things will play out in our heads. The reality is that events unfold according to the natural flow of the universe, of which our bodies and brains are a part, and as conscious beings, we simply observe without worrying. Our bodies and brains have automatic responses to the situations we face in life, and being anxious or stressed only hinders their ability to function effectively. This is a key to salvation, and getting rid of the trap of the ego will liberate us from suffering. The concept of ego is a complex one that can have different interpretations depending on the context, but in psychology, it refers to the self-esteem, self-importance, and self-image that an individual has developed over time. This mental construct is shaped by many factors such as family upbringing, cultural and societal norms, personal experiences, and education. As a result, the ego often leads individuals to believe that they are in control of their lives, that they make conscious decisions, and that they are responsible for their thoughts, feelings, and actions. However, studies in psychology and neuroscience have shown that much of our behavior, thoughts, and emotions are driven by unconscious processes and memories stored in the subconscious mind. These unconscious processes can influence our decisions and actions in ways that we are not fully aware of, leading to the idea that much of what we experience and do is not under conscious control. This means that while the ego may believe it is making conscious decisions, in reality, most of what we do is guided by unconscious forces. In conclusion, the ego is a powerful force that affects our perceptions and beliefs about ourselves. But it is important to understand that much of our behavior is actually influenced by unconscious processes. By grasping the idea that much of our behavior is driven by unconscious processes, individuals can gain a better understanding of their own thoughts and actions, and realize that they have limited control over their experiences and decisions. Therefore, it can be concluded that our reactions and decisions are largely automatic, and there is no need for us as conscious beings to worry about them. We have no power over the events and situations in our lives, and the decisions made by our brain. Thus, it's better to see ourselves as observers, simply conscious beings witnessing the universe observing itself. So, what's your opinion on the idea of free will, and the notion that our brain operates like an automatic computer, separate from our consciousness and awareness? Share your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to give us a like and hit the subscribe button. We'll continue to bring you more thought-provoking content that explores our mind and consciousness.